Welcome back to XRT Reactions and Thoughts. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, like, comment, share. We back. I know it's been a while, but I'm gonna put the next chapter in here too. We got 2 chapters to do. I'm late on this one, and we're gonna do the one from yesterday. Look like Raijin finally figured it out. We gonna see what he do about it. Seem like Goku, aka Kakarot, got a plan. So we gonna see. We gonna check it out.
But now, as I start to wonder on how badly things are going to get around here, I have no doubt in my mind that we'll be ready for whatever may come knocking on our door, because we must be in order to survive.
As our story now continues back on Kame's lookout, with both Gohan and Goku now looking to make way and having to speak to both Mr. Popo and Dende, to which upon the moment of arrival, with Goku noticing that Dende and Mr. Popo were shown cleaning the lookout, was when Goku then went on to add, "Alright, now let's just go and see if we can get some answers here and find out if the Dragon Balls can be put to use for us, just in case we absolutely need them if all else fails," with Gohan responding, Dad, I hate to ask, but don't tell me that you and Vegeta were the ones who were responsible for the way the lookout looks right now, are you? Because, well, Mr. Popo and Dende don't appear to look very happy here, with Goku responding, "Nah, it'll be fine. And besides, we could always just go and use the Dragon Balls to fix whatever damages are on the lookout anyways, but hey there, you guys! I'm finally back and was able to find my way out, well, sort of, with the help of a demon that I honestly don't think would have turned out to be someone that would even break me out, but, well, now that I'm out of the demon realm, we can, but then, it was only just before Goku could even go as far as to finish his sentence was when Dende went on to cut in, "Oh, stop it, Goku. I was able to sense your presence once I felt you re-enter back onto Earth, but just listen, how many times must we go and tell you to please try and not trash the lookout, Goku? Do you even know how much cleaning we are going to have to do here because of you and Vegeta? This is ridiculous, Goku," with Goku having to then respond, "Whoa, hey there, take it easy. And I'm sorry about the mess here, but I actually wanted to ask you about something that I think would be very important in case we were to go from, well, of course, bad to worse here on Earth, and so I need to know something, Dende. Could Shenron be able to possibly reverse a wish or two that had already been made by the hands of the demons within the demon realm after having to use the Super Dragon Balls and go and make their wish? I kind of want to know where we stand here, because if push comes to shove, well, then we're going to need all of the aid and all of the help that we could get against them, and so could Shenron here on Earth be able to undo Super Shenron's wishes, or would Earth's Shenron be way out of his league here, with Dende responding, "Wait, so you'd want to try and undo the wishes that were already put in place by the Super Dragon? Oh, well, I'm sorry, Goku, but you know that can't be done, don't you?" with Goku responding, "Wait, seriously? But what do you mean? How come?" with Dende having to explain, "Well, what I mean is that if what you're already telling me is that there were already several wishes that were made by the hands of the Super Dragon Balls in secret, then, well, then there's no way that the Earth's Dragon Balls would be able to do anything that could reverse such an effect unless you wish to undo them by using the Super Dragon Balls themselves, but I'm afraid outside of that there is no other option, and so I'm sorry, but Earth's Shenron just wouldn't be able to do anything about that, especially if it were done in a pocket dimension like the Demon Realm," Dende continues. "And what's worse about this is the fact that they even have the Super Dragon Balls in the first place, which isn't a good sign whatsoever. And how are they even able to get them, and what exactly are they planning on using them down there for? Because, well, this is just extremely terrible. No matter how you may try and go and look at this, if what you're saying is true, Goku,
I really think they taking
seriously,
it too
well, would it be
lightly right
possible
now.
for us to maybe go and make Shenron stronger then? Would that have any effect in having to help us in case we needed his power? Because, well, I ask because in case something were to happen here in our universe," Goku continues, "then it would be best to have Earth's Dragon Balls on standby by just in case, with Dende responding, well, I could try and strengthen Shenron's power here on Earth, but, well, I doubt that it'll still be enough to alter anything that's been used by the Super Dragon Balls, but, well, I could go and see what I can do in order to ensure that just in case we need Earth's Dragon Balls, they'll be here. But I think if anything, the best course of action to take is to try and get the Super Dragon Balls back and pull them out of the Demon Realm, but I know that this in and of itself won't be an easy task, and so, well, I'll go and see what I can do here to ensure that nothing happens, but just please be careful, Goku. You'll never know what lies in wait for you within the darkness, and I say that because, well, I have a really bad feeling about all of this, Dende says. Well, if that's the case, Gohan then went on to quickly chime in, then I think it's best if we go and speak to Whis and Lord Beerus, along with informing Vegeta about what's been going on around here, so that way we can all remain aware just in case more of those demons were to suddenly start showing up in our universe again, Dad. And so I think it's best if we go now, too, with Goku responding, yeah, you're probably right, and so we're going to need all of the help that we can get, especially if things start to get ugly around here, and so we'll plan ahead and come back
Y'all
later
wasting a
and
little
try to
bit
get
too
the
much
others
time
prepared
right
too,
now.
Goku says. Well, thank you for your help, Dende, so we'll make sure to come back here after we're done speaking with Whis and Lord Beerus about this, but just remember that if you happen to run into any trouble here on the lookout, then don't hesitate then to let us know, and we'll be right here to help you if you need us, okay? And so let's just hope that we can keep Earth's Dragon Balls safe while we go and try to figure out how to get the Super Dragon Balls back. And so now stay safe, you guys. We'll be seeing you both soon. To which seconds later, with Goku then shown using instant transmission and teleporting him and Gohan off of the lookout, was when Mr. Popo then went on to chime in. Oh dear, do you think that they'll be able to somehow go and bring the Super Dragon Balls back, Kami? Well, I sure do hope so, Mr. Popo, and I sure hope that they do, because I have a very bad feeling.
What do y'all think? Do y'all think they can use Earth Dragon Balls to like somehow get the Super Dragon Balls back, or at least out of the Demon Realm? Because I mean,
feeling about all of this, and I don't like it one bit, and so let's just hope that they all do good by the end, Dende says. To where all the while, in the meantime, when then venturing back on over down below, as we only then surprisingly enough see how Piccolo was able to find and speak with both Android 17 and Android 18, was when Piccolo then went on to comment, and so that's the situation. Although a difficult one and one that we don't fully understand yet, the dangers that are posed by these demons from the Demon Realm cannot be overstated, as these creatures don't just seek conquest, but the total annihilation of everything in this universe if we don't prepare for what is to come against them as well, with Android 18 responding, demons from the Demon Realm, huh? Sounds like a headache, to be honest, but what exactly is their motive here, because they don't appear to be in any hurry to invade altogether, especially if it's only just a few of them showing up here and there, and so what's their deal, 18 continues, because if they don't seem to be in any kind of hurry here, then what are we to worry about exactly, because you're making this sound a whole lot worse than what it actually is, and so now what is it? Is this really as troublesome as the way you make it sound, or are you simply worried over the fact of actually having to see if you just show up from out of nowhere, with 17 then having to chime in? And besides, how bad can it really be with the others like Goku, Broly, Gohan, and Vegeta around to fight these things, 17 questions? Or are you telling us
can somebody please listen? We talking about different entities. We not talking about nothing that y'all familiar with. We talking about something way greater, way powerful. Y'all gonna see.
that maybe we are just simply biting off a bit more than we can chew here, especially since we're already loaded with some of the multiverse's strongest warriors, with Piccolo
It don't
responding,
matter.
well, although we haven't really
Sorry.
seen what this realm truly houses in terms of powerful warriors that can compete with our own, we have both seen what happens when dark forces go unchecked, so you can only go as far as to imagine that, only tenfold compared to what we could be facing if they invade. The Demon Realm's warriors are masters of dark energy, Piccolo continues, capable of corrupting and destroying life on a scale that we haven't seen since facing Murno, whom in fact they are also trying to bring back, in case you really want to know. And so there's that, trying to bring Murno back. You hear that, 17 questions? Well, that's certainly not good, and I damn sure don't want to be placed in a situation where we have to go and fight that monster again. And so what do you think, 18? With 18 responding, yeah, same here. And so if that's the case, then we'll need to go and figure something out, so that way we don't have to end up going through the same mess that we ended up going through before. And so what's your call, 17?
I'm
Well, if you
bored.
decide to change your minds, Piccolo went on to then walk away by responding, you know where to find me. And so in the meantime, I'll go and warn the others in case things start getting messy around here. And so it's better to be safe and prepared than it is to be left open and vulnerable like how we were against Murno, Piccolo continues. And so I'd rather be ready this time and die fighting than to be caught by surprise again and be annihilated when I could have been ready. And so we'll be in touch if anything, Piccolo says. Hey now, slow your roll there for just a moment, 17 went on to then quickly chime back in, because whoever said that we were done, with Piccolo then questioning, what do you mean, 17? I thought that the two of you needed some time to think about this, with 17 responding, well, I think that it's more than obvious that we're in, especially if it's a fight that those demons are looking for, then they don't have to look any further than the two of us, so you can count us in, with 18 responding, yeah, you seriously didn't think that we'd just say no and leave you guys to hog all of the fun for yourselves now, did you? Now, what was it that you had mentioned about Bulma and Dr. Hedo exactly? Because now I'm curious, with Piccolo being shown turning around by responding, well, what do you know? I knew that we could count on the two of you just in case we needed it, and so I couldn't thank you enough, Piccolo continues. And speaking of Bulma and Dr. Hedo, follow me and I'll bring you both to them, because if anyone could help ensure our victory against those demons, then it's those two for sure. So now follow me. To which, in the meantime, when then venturing back on over inside of Capsule Corp and seeing Dr. Hedo being shown approaching Bulma with a stack of research papers, was when Dr. Hedo then went on to comment, alright, it's all here, or at least all of the information that we need should be in these research papers here, and so maybe now we can go through with seeing if our information is correct, so shall we go and try it out and see what we can make out of this, Bulma? With Bulma responding, there we are now, and so I take it that with what we were able to gather, could we perhaps use this information to strengthen Gamma 1 along with powering our supercell defense system? With Dr. Hedo responding, well, with all of the data collected, we should be able to strengthen Gamma 1 by using the samples collected from that horn that Piccolo and Gohan had retrieved, but I'm not too sure on how this would affect our supercell defense titan since, well, he isn't quite finished yet. So, well, if anything, I do believe that it would be best if we only run these upgrades on machines, just in case there's some unknown after effect from the samples collected that could still allow for a demon to take possession of a biological subject. Yeah, well, maybe we'll just go and do that in the meantime, Bulma went on to respond, until we know that it is safe to run these same upgrades on biological warriors without running the risk of having anything happen to them. But now that the Capsule Corp Metamo rings are complete, Bulma adds, it's just a matter of going as far as to test them to see what kind of a fusion it can create, and more importantly, if they can ultimately create fusions that are far stronger than the ones that we are used to via the fusion dance or the Potara earrings. But we'll just go and test these out last and see what we can make of them once we start to see what these are like in combat against someone. Well, to our credit, Dr. Hedo responds, we did manage to amp these up by a very large margin, especially when considering the idea that these things would multiply the fusion's power many times over, and so, well, it's only just a matter of finding the right pair to go and try these on and see what the results turn into, with Bulma having to then respond, yeah, well, I mean, there's always Goku and Vegeta that we can go and try these on, but then again, Vegeta never really enjoyed the idea of going and fusing with Goku to begin with, and so this might be a little tricky. But then, it was all of a sudden now to Bulma and Dr. Hedo's surprise was when Piccolo went on to then enter into their lab by then responding, hey, sorry to just barge in from out of nowhere again, but I hope you don't mind that since I came and brought a few guests along with me, that I do believe could be of much use to us in case we happen to find ourselves in a battle against those demons. And so who better to help us than two of our old friends from the past, with Bulma responding, wait, you brought guests? But who? Oh, don't tell me that you went and brought Goten and Trunks here now, did you? Well, I'm hoping that you weren't expecting for that God of Destruction or someone else to just show up, because that would have burst your bubble, 18 went on to then respond. And do either of us even look like Goten and Trunks to you, Bulma? 17 went on to then also quickly respond. And besides, the boys are busy watching over the island while I'm away, and so that should keep them occupied in the meantime, with Bulma responding, well, I'm glad that you guys can go and join us, because we're going to need all the help that we can get in order to counter whatever it is that's going to be coming, with Dr. Hedo also chiming in, hey, so you're the famous Android 17 and 18 that I heard so much about. Right, and based on my
I just realized this the first time they done met.
understanding on the two of you.
I
You
love
are
it.
both modified humans, aren't you? Lapis and Lazuli, correct? Well, that's a first, 17 went on to quickly respond, because it's not that often that we run into anyone who refers to us by our actual names. But being that you seem like you really wanted to talk to us, 17 continues, our question now to you is, what are we going to do about this demon problem, and what exactly can you offer that would be of any use to us against these creatures, Doctor? And moreover, are the things that you and Bulma appear to be working on back there, 17 adds, and so why don't you go and fill us both in on what's going on? With Dr. Hedo responding, well, I see that your curiosity has been piqued by our latest endeavor, as these here aren't just any ordinary armbands, in case you're wondering, Dr. Hedo adds, for this is actually the culmination of years worth of research and development between Bulma and myself, as these right here are our official Capsule Corp Metamo fusion rings, and these bad boys are designed to facilitate a fusion that isn't only far more stable, but significantly more powerful than traditional fusion as well, with Bulma having to then chime in, and even though we haven't tested them yet, this is only just one of many cool little secret projects that me and Dr. Hedo have been working on, with 17 responding, fusion, huh? Well, that's no surprise, but correct me if I'm wrong here, but that's an android sitting behind you, am I right? Interesting, so I'm guessing that you went and made this one yourself then? And with all things considered, 17 adds, do you think that he could hang with us just in case we have to team up against those demons when they get here, with Gamma 1 having to chime in? And if I may, Dr. Hedo, if there was ever a better time that called for the bioacceleration chamber to be used in case we needed to stand our ground, then I do believe that this would be that very time for us to go and use it, with Dr. Hedo having to then respond, well, actually, come to think of it, that would be extremely ideal, and especially when considering on how much they'd be able to improve after we upgrade them to where they need to be. And well, now that you're both here, Dr. Hedo continues, and it's time that we go and do a little bit of modifying, so that way you are both up to date with everything that which you'll need to be made aware of, and if you think that the two of you are really strong now, then just you wait until you both emerge from our bioacceleration chambers, for I can promise you both that the two of you will be extremely satisfied with the end result of what we do. As all the while, in the meantime, when then venturing back on over on Beerus's planet and seeing Primal Super Saiyan Blue Evolution Vegeta very angry at the fact that the demons were able to escape, was when Vegeta then went on to add, oh, I can't believe what just happened here. Of all the things that I could have prepared for, they went and blindsided me by having me fight a clone. A shadow demon on top of it all, Vegeta adds. And I know that it must have been when that little rodent of a demon had taken my blood on the lookout. And now they went and got away with Lord Beerus's blood sample too. And so what are we going to do now? As Beerus went on to look on down on his wound by then responding, and to think that I have allowed for myself to become far too calm about this overall situation, only to have something like this go and catch me by surprise. And as I was far too careless in allowing for such a thing to ever even go as far as to happen on my planet. Well, now I'm angry, Beerus adds, and I will make sure that no matter how many of those creatures decide to go and stand in my way, that they all pay for what had taken place here today. And as for you, Beerus adds, we were both fooled by the sudden and unexpected events that were shown taking place here today, but moving forward from now on, all of that changes, which means no more playing nice with any of those creatures from here on. Now step aside because Whis is back. Wait, Whis is back? Vegeta went on to then question upon seeing Whis arrive back on Beerus's planet. Well, good, and so let's just see if he was able to find out more about what the heck has been going on around here as of late, and so let's just see what he says.
Oh yeah, he's gonna lay it down
Longer than you should have been, Whis. Beerus went on to then quickly chime in. And
Whis
since
got
you
all
were
the
gone,
news.
those creatures had the nerve to come and touch down on my planet while you were away, and so now I want their heads mounted on my wall for what they did. So with that said, what were you able to learn while speaking with the Grand Priest and the Omni Kings about this situation, Whis? Right, and so we ran into some trouble while you were away, Vegeta adds, and if there's anything that you can tell us about what we can do to put an end to all of this, then now would be a great time to tell us on what we need to do in order to make that happen, with Whis responding, though I was able to sense what was going on here while I was away, and I do however regret to inform you both that the overall situation appears to be far worse than I imagined that it would be, for the Omni Kings appear to be unresponsive and sealed away within their palace as we are unable to reach them no matter how hard it is that we try. And so with that, we cannot trust that they are okay, with the shocked Vegeta responding, wait, say what now? They can't be reached even by you? But how is that even possible? And so are you saying that those demons are the ones who are responsible for putting up for such a barrier that prevents anyone from reaching them? Oh great, and so now what are we supposed to do? With Whis responding, well for now I will need to go and meet with the other angels so that way we can try and get down to the bottom of things, but I would need to go and do this alone, with Vegeta responding, oh great, and so this is far worse than what we thought it was, isn't it? Well if that's the case, then they could be getting ready to launch an invasion at any moment, with Whis responding, well they could go as far as to do so if they so happen to choose, but as long as we are prepared for anything of the sorts to happen, then we should be in good hands. But then, it was only suddenly now from out of nowhere during their conversation was when Goku had used instant transmission in bringing Gohan along with him, as Gohan then went on to chime in, well it looks as though they all seem to be doing okay, but judging based from what I can see on their expressions, well they don't seem to be very happy, and so I'm sure that something must have happened, with Goku responding, yeah well I wouldn't doubt it either, but let's just go and see if we can go and get down to the bottom of things, so that way we can go and maybe figure out on how we can go about this and stop those Dark Masters from doing what they're about to go and do. And for our sake, let's just hope that it's not too late either, Goku continues. And with that, it looks like we are not alone here either, Whis went on to then chime back in. So you were finally able to find your way back after all, huh? Well, I'm glad to see you back with us and in one piece, Goku, with Vegeta having to then respond, Kakarot, but since when did you just so happen to come back, and how were you able to go and find your way back out and return? With Goku responding, well, to be honest with you all, I wouldn't have been able to find my way back
Listen,
alone.
I'm Vegeta.
Well, that's because surprisingly enough, it was
And all of
actually
this
one
here,
of those demons down
I'm
there who
Vegeta.
helped break me out, but we'll go more into that a little later on, because I was able to find out on what those demons were up to down there, and more importantly as to what they were planning on doing by using those Super Dragon Balls as well, with Whis responding, helped by a demon you say? Well, that's very unusual to hear, but if you have anything that you'd like to share with us, then now would be the perfect time to go on and do so, as Beerus was then shown having to approach Gohan by then having to ask him, so that idiot Saiyan went and brought you here too now, did he? Well, regardless of what I think of you, Beerus went on to put his hand on Gohan's shoulder, I'm glad that you are here, because in case a war with those demons were to break out, then I will need all of you who are worthy of standing on the front lines to be ready for anything in case something were to happen, Saiyan. And so you do understand what it is that I am asking of you, do you not? With Gohan responding, well, thanks, Lord Beerus, but yes, I think I understand exactly what you're trying to tell me, and, well, you can go and count on me to do what it is that I need to do in order to stand by everyone's side to defend our universe from whatever might be coming our way, Lord Beerus. Well, if that's the case, then this is what I know, and so not only are those Dark Masters sampling our blood and our DNA in creating these shadow demons, Goku says, especially since they're creating them as a way to counter those who are the original, but they are also trying to use the Super Dragon Balls to not only undo an ancient seal that had locked away their demon god away, but to also make matters far worse, is that they're also going to try and use those Super Dragon Balls to attempt to try and resurrect Murno, and even go as far as to shackle him down and use him as their slave to wipe out and destroy everything, with Vegeta responding, what? They're trying to bring Murno back to life? Are they completely insane? And aside from having to fight one of those so-called shadow demons myself, they're also trying to awaken the demon god of the underworld as well? And you're absolutely sure about this, right? This isn't just a guess that you have or anything, right, Kakarot? For this is in fact the truth, isn't it? Because now it's all starting to make sense. Well, unfortunately, yes, it is, Goku responds. Hey, wait a second, speaking of, how are those demons able to find this place and even go as far as to blindside you by cutting your... But then, it was only just before Goku even had the chance to finish was when Beerus went on to quickly interrupt Goku by then responding, oh no you don't, Goku, one more word out of that mouth of yours and I'm going to see it that you never speak to me again. And so be careful with what it is that you say, because anyone, and I mean everyone can be caught slacking when their guard is down, which was exactly what went and happened here. For I was too reckless to have paid attention and allowed for what happened to have had happen, but nevertheless, do we have a problem here or not, mortal? With Goku uttering, no, we don't, but geez, just take it easy, would you, Lord Beerus? I hope you're still not mad at me after what happened with your ice cream sundae and how me and Vegeta ruined your day from earlier, are you? Well, I'd hate to go and interrupt you guys, Gohan quickly went on to chime back in, but since those demons seem to be preparing themselves for a possible invasion and battle against us, then I think it would be best if we went and got some serious training in just to be safe, you know? And especially what was shown having to go down against Murno last time, I'm really not trying to take any chances here this time, Dad. Wait, you seriously mean it, Gohan? Goku questions? Well, are you really sure that you're up for this? Because there's no telling on what we're about to go and encounter once those demons decide to go and try to make a move on us. So are you sure? Indeed. And what say you, Vegeta Whis went on to then question. Are you also going to join Gohan and Goku in training yourselves to prepare for whatever we might end up encountering later on? With Vegeta responding, no, I will not. At least not now, because I'm currently training myself, but in a different way, with my mind. And so I must continue to read this book in order to find out more information on just what those things actually are. Well, honestly, I couldn't be sure about it all, Gohan went on to then quickly respond, especially with what was shown taking place on Earth when Murno had arrived. If anything like that were to happen again, then, well, I'd much rather go and be safe rather than be sorry, no matter how strong these demons are, Gohan says. And even if, let's just say, Murno were to somehow come back, then, well, I'd rather be ready than to be destroyed like the way I was when Murno had arrived back then. And so, while we're at it, could you go and do me a favor, Whis? Gohan went on to then question. I'd like to go and change my outfit back to the way my dad's is, and so could you maybe go and change that for me up a little bit, Whis? Oh, so you want to revert back to your orange gi then? Well, not a problem, Whis says. Alrighty then, just stay right where you are, with Goku responding, say, you're going back to your old colors again, huh? Gosh, I haven't seen you wear this outfit here since, well, since more than likely when we went and battled against Majin Buu prior to Murno, of course, and so, well, it's good to see you bring it back for one final run, eh, son? Yeah, I know, isn't it cool? Because it sure does go back and bring back a lot of memories now, doesn't it? With an agitated Vegeta saying to himself, oh, now I see. So those demons are able to alter their strength while using the demon realm's essence as a way to fuel themselves, which only goes as far as to confirm to me that they are using the realm's energy as a power source of some kind. But how can we stop them from further using the demon realm as a power supply is the question, because it doesn't seem to tell me on how that could be reversed unless, but of course, that has to be how it can be done, or I should have known. With Goku then continuing, well, now that you're ready, are you sure you want to go through with this, Gohan? Because if anything, we'll go and spar for a little just to see where you currently stand. That way I can also see what needs to be worked on the most while we engage. So is that okay? Yeah, that's perfect, actually, Gohan responds, but could you go and do me a favor as well, Dad? I don't want you holding back your full power against me just because you want to go and
Y'all still gotta have these conversations.
Well, then you have my word that I'll go and leave it all out there against you, Gohan, Goku says, as I want to see how good you've become, so that way in case anything were to happen, then I'd know that you'd be right by my side in case a war were to break out, and so you have my word that I won't be going easy on you, my son, I promise. Well, thank you, Dad, and I promise to go all out and give it all that I have as well, so that way you can see that no matter what those demons try and throw our way, we aren't going to stay down upon them having to throw it, and so I'm ready. With Beerus looking on over to Whis by questioning, and are you sure that this is a good idea for them to go and spar here, Whis? As wouldn't it be best for us to go and hunt those rotten demons down instead for what they've done? Because I'd rather them do this later. With Whis responding, well, actually, I do believe that this would be what's best for the time being before we decide to go and make our move in getting back at those demons, my lord. For it is a strategic preparation and good way to fine-tune their instincts and reactions, Whis adds. And as they begin to challenge one another, they will also go as far as to uncover new strengths and weaknesses and further fostering their growth along the way. And even while doing this, their training could also prepare them both for whatever may be coming next if those demons decide to invade or attack Universe 7. And so it's best if we allow for them to do this just to see where they stand, as Goku was shown then getting into fighting position by responding, alright, Alright now, Gohan, whenever you're ready, let's go and see what you're made of, son, with Gohan responding, right, and unlike before, I'll go and make sure that if that monster Myrna were to actually be brought back to life, that things end up being far different than how they were when we first encountered him, and so let's do this, Dad. Yeah, well, they better go and hurry it up and not wreck my planet as a result, Beerus went on to then quickly shout, or else I'll go and wreck both of them for doing it if they just so happen to do so, Whis. Well, I can't really promise you that they won't, my lord, Whis responds, but, well, at least this ought to take your mind off things for a while, and especially with what was shown happening here while I was away, and so let's just wait and see as to what they will do. As all the while, in the meantime, when then venturing back on over within the Demon Realm, and now seeing the Dark Masters open up a portal and heading back into the Time Chamber to do Raijin's bidding was when Demon Jogo then went on to add, we must ensure that nothing goes wrong while we wait to use those Dragon Balls again, but how much time do we have left in order for us to wait until they can be used again? Surely it can't be that long, can it? With Dark Master Toro responding, we have about 2 more hours to go and wait until the Super Dragon Balls can be used again, and from there, we will go and do exactly as Lord Raijin had instructed for us to go and do. Am I clear? And so now let's move. As the Elite Demon Zaru then went on to appear by then responding, Dark Master Gira, pardon my trouble, but there is a very important matter that I wish to speak to you about immediately, with Gira having to then respond, ah, Zaru, and what exactly may be troubling you that you wish to go and speak to me about, Demon? As this had better be good, for I am not to have my time be wasted after Lord Raijin had already given us an order, with Zaru responding, my deepest apologies for holding you up on your time, but I regret to have to inform you that the mortal Saiyan who had been held captive by you had been freed. The Saiyan is no longer within his containment chamber and has already fled from the Demon Realm, with Gira having to then respond, wait, what? But that's impossible, Zaru! And so how are you to be sure of this? How was that Goku able to escape and find his way back into the living world?
Let me tell y'all something. That's why it's important to follow up. They messed up. Well, she messed up. Miss Gira here, she messed up because she was the one that was overseeing him while he was there, right? If you know, you know. If y'all haven't watched it, go back, rerun the chapters. You can see the time Goku spent in the Demon Realm and how all that went down. But it don't matter. Workplace, business, whatever you got going on, you got to follow up. And it's actually something that I'm working on right now. So, yeah, prevent this from happening.
Explain yourself now, with Zaru responding, while gathering and preparing some of our forces to move into Universe 11, I couldn't help but sense something very strange that was...
Hold on. Y'all going to mess with Jiren and them? Okay. I'm not gonna pause it no more, y'all.
Coming from within the ridges of the Western Canyons, and that was when I saw it for myself. I felt the mortal's presence, and when I looked down to get a better look at what was happening, he was gone, which ultimately means that the mortal couldn't have escaped back into his world without the aid of a fellow demon within our ranks, and I think I have a very good idea on who exactly this was that went and set him free. A traitor amongst the Demon Realm, Gira questions, and you're sure about this? Because if that's the case, then you listen to me and you listen up very well, Zaru. Find them right now. Find the traitor within our ranks and deliver him to Lord Raijin immediately. As the rest of the Dark Masters and I will wait and guard the Super Dragon Balls, but if you happen to know on who exactly this was who was responsible for this, then they will need to be executed and made into an example. Understand? As I want this treacherous vermin to suffer for daring to defy our authority, and so find them and bring them to Lord Raijin at once, with Zaru having to respond, as you wish, Lord Gira, for I think I know on where he might be trying to hide, so finding him will be certainly the least of my troubles, as I mostly look forward in delivering this traitor to Lord Raijin myself. And so I can assure you that I will not fail, as Toro went on to address Gira by responding, I said now, Gira, and I will not go and repeat myself to you again. then. Hurry and get a move on so that we may all be ready to use the Super Dragon Balls now. That is an order, demon. Yes, understood, Lord Torogiro responds, for I will be with you all in just a moment. Now listen, Zaru, I want eyes and ears all throughout the demon realm as I want to ensure that there are no other traitors who are hiding among us. Do you understand? For you are to gather the other elites and follow General Raiga's command unless Lord Raijin tells you otherwise, for I want every single one of these backstabbing demons dead. No excuses, no mercy, Gira adds, as we are to see to it that absolutely nothing goes wrong, especially with Master Raijin now awake and freed from his prison, Zaru. Now go and weed these rodents out and destroy them, for there is much for us to do and that needs to be done so that we may have our day, demon, and so now go and find him, with Zaru having to respond, oh, I can assure you that you have my word, Lord Gira, as this is what I was born to do after all, and I think I know on just where to find that little rat for what he went and did now, traitor. To which elsewhere in the demon realm, as both Dubo and Kibi were shown having to walk amongst the other demons, was when Kibi then went on to respond, tell me something, Master Dubo, is Lord Raijin preparing for the invasion of the other realms, which happens to include the 12 mortal universes that the Saiyan Goku happens to come from? If the mortal is based in one of the 12 universes, Dubo responds, then yes. But when push comes to shove, you must not hesitate despite how you feel.
He don't even know.
Understand? For he is not your friend and he never will be, Dubo adds, as our loyalty is to the throne and to the demon realm, boy. And so he may have spared your life within the moment, but that doesn't mean that he will do it again, especially when war comes knocking at his front door, Kibi, and so this you must understand. And so therefore, whenever Lord Raijin calls for us to be at war, then you must be ready for battle, even if that means that you must face that Saiyan again, with Kibi responding, well, I understand and never once claimed that I wasn't going to fight on behalf of the demon realm, but I guess you're right, unbeknownst to Kibi, with a hand being shown sticking on out from behind him in responding. But the Saiyan did happen to mention something about how our true enemies are not those who we are led to believe, but instead the Dark Masters themselves, which he also went on to mention how, but then, it was only just before Kibi even had the opportunity to finish, was when from out of nowhere, that was when Zaru went on to grab onto the back of Kibi's neck via a portal by then responding, there you are, you little worm, I knew that this was where you were, and so you're coming back with me, you little traitor, as I know everything, demon, and so now you're coming with me, to which as soon as Zaru was then shown pulling Kibi into the portal was when Dubo then went on to shout, no, not like this, no, oh, hang on, Kibi, as it was only within that very moment back over on the other side, with Zaru now shown having to throw Kibi on the ground before Lord Raijin with his back turn, was when Zaru then went on to continue, and here you thought that I wouldn't catch on in finding out about what you were doing, you little rats, for you have a lot of explaining to do, boy, and so you better stand back up and start talking because you don't want to keep Lord Raijin waiting any longer, demon. What nonsense is this? Kibi went on to then suddenly question. What are you talking about, Zaru? I know nothing about what you speak of, and so what is the meaning of this? Why was I brought here, and what are you looking for me to answer about, Zaru? With Zaru then responding, do you think your deeds would remain in the shadows, Kibi? For I was there in the canyons when you led the Saiyan to freedom, Zaru went on to point out to Kibi by responding, defying the orders of our leaders, and now your betrayal is exposed for all to see, especially before Lord Raijin, traitor. For it was you who had went and freed the Saiyan from his captive chamber, as it was you who had guided him through the canyons and back into his world, as it will be you who will pay for spitting in Lord Raijin's and the Dark Master's faces in the end, with Kibi responding, what? How could you say such a thing, Zaru? You have no proof of this, and so how could you accuse me of such a thing when I wasn't even there? How do you even know that it was me that you have claimed to seen, Zaru? With Zaru responding, because I saw you with my very own eyes, you coward, and so now are you calling me a liar, Kibi? But then, it was only during the middle of their heated exchange was when Raijin was shown having to turn his head by then interrupting and responding, that's enough, Zaru, for I will go and deal with this myself, as you have been accused of a grave betrayal, young demon, as freeing a captive prisoner is no small crime for or if these allegations hold true, then I want you to know that my wrath will be boundless for your actions, as betraying our cause by releasing any prisoner is a heinous act that directly goes against my order, along with the orders of the Dark Masters who set them in place. For I have no reason to doubt Zaru's word, Raijin continues, for as one of my elites, he is as reliable as they come, and so now you will go on and tell me everything that I need to know, or I am going to tear your body apart limb by limb until you confess everything, boy. As it was only right then and there now, during that moment, where the Beyond Dragon Ball Super Story of the Dark Masters, the official Murno sequel, manga chapter number 14 special, then comes to a close. Now,
KB. Another YN. Another YN. Soon as Raijin got here, y'all seen what he did. He went straight for the YN. Now we got Kibi. I told y'all it was coming. And Dubo, he gonna meet his fate too. Dubo, your time coming. But yeah, man, there's some crazy stuff going on. Look like they got a plan back on Earth. They rallying up their troops. They getting back to the drawing board. They preparing themselves. Meanwhile, over here, you got Kibi trying to lie. Like he ain't already caught. It's all bad. Don't forget to hit the like button on the way out if you haven't liked already. Leave your thoughts. Sure. We out. See y'all in a little bit.